talk about the journey. We want to talk about
Journey.
some, yeah.
Man. Well, that journey is something special. It's a journey is something. I don't even know where to start on the journey because it's so many things. When we look at the journey, we always forget to go within. We're always so busy looking for external sources, some type of religion or some type of activity. Some people go to yoga, some people go to meditation, some people go to different religions and different modalities. And they're constantly looking outside of it. All the answers are always right here.
Within.
Yeah, within. So,
How does somebody find those answers within?
oh man, you got to become still. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to be still. When you're still, you can begin to hear what's inside of you. But some of us never sit still. Think about it. Think about life. You know, how often you might get up and as soon as you get up, you hit the floor and you're running. You never take time for yourself. People do that so often because they want outside of themselves. Because if you literally sit with yourself and sit in that stillness, sometimes what you realize can be a little disheveling. And people just don't want to see it. It's uncomfortable. But that's the place we have to go into.
That uncomfortable
space.
space. Ooh, that uncomfortableness.
Really, that's a special place. It's,
Yeah.
and you need a community. You need family. You need people that are with you that you can trust. Because when you don't have that, you're kind of just moving through life and you're hoping and you're looking and we run these unconscious programs and the unconscious programs we never see. The only way we can find out about those unconscious programs is if we listen to our friends, listen to our family, listen to people that we trust because they're the ones that's going to actually tell us, hey, you know this is what you're doing, and we'll never see it because it's unconscious. That's what we got to understand. The unconscious is unconscious. That means we don't know we're doing it. So this journey is about, number one, community, because we're not meant to do this by ourselves. We're meant to do this in pairs and groups with community, with family, so that we can begin to see the true essence of who we are.
So how do you find that? How do you find that community?
You know, that's a good question because there's a lot of communities out here. But you have to basically just find a community that's going to align with you. And the main way to find a community is go into your heart and ask. Ask to be put in a place, in a space where people are like-minded, where people can help you to really become the best version of you. And that's something we forget again. We are extraordinary beings. When I say extraordinary beings, we are extraordinary beings. We have the ability to create and direct our own reality. It goes into mentalism. So the first thing you want to do is, number one, say, I want to find a community that's going to help me find my true, authentic self. A community that's going to help me find the truest version of me. It's going to be open and honest with me, loving, caring, compassionate, and graceful with my journey. That's what I want to find. That's the first thing you do. And then, of course, you can pick up the phone, you can scroll, you can go online, you can go on social media, you can do all kinds of things.
Do you offer anything?
Of course, of course. I have a whole community that I'm actually building at this moment. I've been building for the last couple of years where people can come into an app. There's probably about 600 members into the app right now. And you can actually just talk as a community, and I monitor all those rooms, especially the ones just for the spiritual journeys. And I wait for people to ask me questions, and I answer the questions. And of course, I do live or broadcast on Instagram where people can come and listen to what I have to say. Open the floor with different monthly activities where people can come in person and see and answer questions. You know, that's something I'm really dedicating myself to this year, is really opening myself to answer questions with people because we're in such a changing time.
Right. Right.
But it's Oracle's Touch. The community is Oracle's Touch. I'm on social media on all those. Oracle's Touch is Facebook. Oracle's Touch is was it TikTok? Oracle's Touch on Instagram. So it's easy.
So that's Oracle's. ORACLES.
Yes.
TOUCH.
Yes. Oracle's Touch.
Okay. And so if, like, say if someone who is ready to embark on their spiritual journey and they are coming across your website, what would be the first thing you would recommend for them to click on?
The first thing I would say is click on a discovery call. It's a free 15-minute call where I literally sit down, talk to you, and find out about you. and find out what you want to do. And I tell you the programs I have that I can offer that can help you on your journey, or I can actually point you in a direction to somebody that can help
Mm, okay.
Mhm.
And for the most part, what do you think would be a good investment for one to go within every day with themselves? If they've never meditated before, they don't know. Like most people think that they're meditating incorrectly
you.
because they're searching for something.
Right, right.
So if you are closing your eyes and you are like, okay, I'm still thinking of the same thoughts, I'm still having whatever visions coming across, what am I supposed to see when I'm meditating?
That's a good question. Actually, you shouldn't see too much of anything when you're meditating.
Mm,
Meditation is about stilling your mind. It's about focusing to a point. And it's very hard for people to meditate because you have to quiet your mind, or your mind has to quiet. And the first thing people do is resist the quieting. So when it comes in, what they do is like, get out, get out, get out.
right.
Stop, stop. I don't want to do this. Well, that is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do when it comes to meditation. Meditation is about allowing. So when those thoughts come in, just invite them in, because now you're not letting the unconscious or the ego mind control you anymore. You're allowing it to do what it wants to do, and you're not resisting. And then what happens is it eventually quiets. But a lot of people have difficulty meditating. But I would say if you want to make an investment in yourself, there's a lot of different apps out there for meditation. I have one on my website, which is called Alchemy. And there's probably over 70 meditations, guided meditations. And guided meditations are probably a really good way to start meditating, because all you have to do is just listen.
Yeah.
My suggestion is for anybody that's doing these meditations to do them at night before you go to sleep, and let them put you to sleep. Because at that point, the unconscious mind is completely asleep,
Okay.
and you're not fighting yourself. You don't have those thoughts anymore because you're sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a simple investment. There's Insight Timer. There's a host of other apps that are out there that have sound frequencies, different things, and my app has all that as well.
So would you say if one can quiet their mind for 5 minutes, does that suffice for us?
That is excellent. If somebody can quiet their mind for 5 minutes, you are doing really, really, really well, because 30 seconds is a feat, especially in this time. So yeah,
Because we got so many distractions. We
yeah,
got
so
phone,
yeah, yeah,
we have TV,
exactly.
News, alerts, notifications, all the apps you put on your phone want to alert you, or
Yep.
sales, weather, traffic, news, Facebook, Instagram, all the, things that are distracting us
Mhm.
and letting us know, hey, look at me, you
Right.
know. So it's
So you
so
don't
you
want
want to,
yourself.
yeah, you want to pick up your phone and like, okay,
Exactly.
oversight alert.
But the algorithms are set, so they're actually programmed to align with our brainwaves and our thoughts. So as soon as we start scrolling, it's something catches our mind, and next thing we know, it's 2 hours gone by, and it's because the algorithm understands what we're looking for, and what we have to understand is our own algorithm. But then we have to redefine what we're looking for. And you just start to notice the things that you scroll on, like, man, these are really familiar. These are really similar. It's because it's an algorithm. Whatever you begin to look at on a regular basis, whatever you're talking about, that is what begins to show up on your feeds, so you can have your attention killed. Right? Just think if you can do that for yourself. What needs to show up on your feed every day in your life that you can create, that's going to make you stay attentive to what you're doing, because you can create that reality.
Okay. That sounds
That's out there.
magical.
Magical is out there, but it's just very possible. That's the ability that we have as human beings. So it's learning first to still your mind. Of course, you're creating your reality. Now, we can get deep into the different philosophies and everything. We can go into the 7 hermetic principles. We can go into mentalism. We can go into how we create as God and as gods. But that's deep. We might be, we got scuba gear on right now. We got snorkeling. We got snorkeling gear on right now. We don't have the scuba gear on, so we don't go that deep yet. But we'll get there, and it's just processes. But the first thing is still your mind. Know that everything is inside of you. All the answers are inside of you, and if you can just quiet your mind just long enough, you'll literally begin to see the answers. They'll begin to come to you, and it's attentiveness. I teach the first thing is breath work, then there's mindfulness, and there's meditation. And meditation comes in many different ways. And just with you, some of the things you're doing, meditation is with yoga, and that's movement. So meditation, not just sitting like this.
Right.
it's quieting your mind, but it's extreme focus. So when you're actually moving into your poses and you're moving into those different systems, you're meditating, you're focusing on moving your body.
Yeah.
You know, and you can explain a lot about that.
Yeah.
I'm not the yogini. I'm the shaman.
Yeah. So, a lot of people know that I have been on this spiritual journey, and it started, really, it started back in 2017, 2018,
Mhm.
when I went to Rome. So, fast forward back to just a couple of days ago, I just got back from Jamaica,
Mhm.
and I did a 2 week intense training, um, where it was basically yoga every day. But most people confuse just yoga with just moving the body with different postures. But it's so much more than
So
that.
much, so much more.
Yeah, it's so much more than that. And so anything that you're practicing, on a mental level, consciously practicing to bring, about your spirituality, and spirituality is just you working on yourself, um, going within yourself. So there is nothing outside that you can be seeking. It's all inside of you. So I have some friends and family that have said to me that they feel like yoga is like worshiping a devil, worshiping a deity.
Right.
But what I would like to say is that yoga is discipline. Um, you have to concentrate on valuing yourself. So when I say valuing yourself, if you are spending any kind of time bettering yourself, that's discipline. And so whether you're reading, whether you're being mindful of the thoughts that come into your mind, also what you're putting inside of your body. So consciously, we like to eat based off of our emotions.
Right.
And we know that we're going to eat something and it doesn't make us feel good after
Right.
we eat it, but we still
Right.
eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So being mindful of that, that's yoga, because it's like, hey, I don't like to feel this way when I eat this. And even though I have access to it, I can get up and go buy it when I want to. I can put it in my refrigerator or in my cabinet, and it's there when I want to. But the discipline of saying, no, I'm not going to consume this because I know it's not good for my well-being. It's not good for my nervous system. It's not good. It gives me headaches because it's got too much sugar. Um, and just making simple changes like that every day, that's yoga.
Yeah.
So the mindfulness, the awareness, the consciousness, the discipline, and we have to incorporate those things into our life, and all those things help us. They help us daily, um, becoming better versions of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to expand on it because you made a really key point. It's what we consume, what we eat. But we don't just eat with our mouths. We eat with all five senses. So if we're eating with our eyes, with our ears, with our smells, with our mouth, with our touch, what are we bringing into our lives? What are we scrolling? What are we looking at?
Indeed.
This is being digested into us. What do we begin to speak? That throat chakra is all about metabolizing. The throat chakra is linked directly to the metabolizing. It is directly linked to the thyroid, which is metabolizing. You're not just metabolizing food, you're metabolizing the words that you're actually speaking on, and it's becoming a part of your energetic field. So we got to be really careful. So I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
consumption is something we have to be very aware of.
Yeah, and speaking of, that throat chakra, I have had issues with my throat chakra. Like, I know everybody see me, y'all think I'm all bubbly and I like to talk all the time, but I honestly feel like I reserve who I'm talking to, and when it comes to sharing certain things about myself. But the more that I talk and the more that I meet people and I share my journey, a lot of people have been through some of the same things that I have been through, and when we don't share, when we don't speak, that creates blockages within us because we are a big ball of energy. So even with movement, being
Right.
able to move your body, you still also have to exercise.
Right. Yeah.
Talking
Yeah.
to
Talking. Yeah.
and
That's it.
expressing.
Throat chakra is very powerful because it is what we spell with. That is what we send out into the universe. It is our manifestation of our thoughts.
Mm.
So we have to really be aware of that. But it's a beautiful thing, yoga, bringing the attention. It's the meditation. Yoga is meditation. You're bringing attention to the things that you're actually doing in your life. When you bring that attention to them, your awareness then begins to show you whether you need to continue doing and you need to stop, you need to shift, and that's where community comes in. That's where a tribe comes in. And again, the more that you begin to work on yourself, the more you're going to begin to attract and vibe that tribe to you. It's gonna come to you. So it's really about, first of all, setting the intention that you want a tribe, that you want to find a community, that you want to find someone that can help you. When the student is ready to teach her peers, you might be your own teacher.
Yeah, we are our best teachers, right?
Definitely, especially when we can pay attention to ourselves. It's like, oh, wow, I'm doing that. And trust me, I've had some aha moments in my journey. It's been some times, it's almost 20 plus years, and there's been a lot of aha moments. And the more I learn, the more I know I don't know anything. And I begin to understand the vastness of myself and the smallness of myself, and that there is something so much more powerful and so much larger out here than we are. And when we tap into that and understand that universal power is so much bigger than we are,
Absolutely.
we begin to understand that we're a part of that, and because we are a part of that, we are that.
Yeah.
And that's when we have to begin to understand that we are sovereign beings by birth, and that sovereignty allows us to tap into that universal energy. And when we tap into that universal energy, that's when we become magical. That's when we become magical.
Okay, so when you say tap into that universal energy, would that be reference to like cosmic intelligence?
That definitely could be reference to cosmic intelligence, and it's also, we are the original AI. It's not artificial intelligence; it's human intelligence. That's what we are.
That we
Because-
program the artificial. Right?
Exactly. We programmed it. So you got to understand that we can tap into that same energy, but it takes practice. It's not just easy to open up a computer and say, type in Chat GPT or whatever, and we just get this plethora of information. But you got to think about that information is all coming from all the information we're inputting into it.
Okay.
So when we look at ourselves, we can begin to see that we are tapping into ourselves through everyone else.
Okay.
I'm you and you're me. So if we're the same, I have the access to the same information that you have. I have access to information about you. You have access to information about me, but you have to train your senses to begin to tap into that. How do you think people do readings? How do you think people are able to tap into the auric field or the cosmic field?
Ooh. So how do we get these spiritual gifts? Like, I mean, like we have them, I mean, we got them.
How do you activate it?
How do we activate
The
them?
first thing we do is learn to breathe.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Because when we breathe, we begin to reset ourselves back to their original state.
Okay, so let's just say we're breathing different. So we got a 4, 7, 8 count where we inhaling for 4, we're holding for 7, and we're exhaling for 8. What is that doing for me? I mean, like, what can I expect to see? Like, what is?
Great question. Well, it all depends because every breath technique holds a different key for you. So, like the breath that you're talking about is one that helps to reset the nervous system. So the one I do is 7 counts in, hold 4 counts, 8 counts out. And I have to do that 8 times.
Okay.
8 times a day, and that resets the
You do it
nervous
8 times a day?
8 times a day. That's it. So it literally takes you 5 minutes to reset your whole nervous system.
Okay, so you do that 8 times a day. You have a timer on your phone?
A timer on my phone.
Yeah.
I just get up and do it the first thing in the morning.
Okay. So you do that. Wait. You're doing it 8 times all at one time.
Yeah, 8 breaths. So it's like you think about it.
Okay, that's one.
Like you take the 8 breaths. I just take 8 breaths while I'm breathing in 7 counts, hold 4 counts, breathe out 8 counts. So literally, it won't take you 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
And you are literally resetting your nervous system back to your original code. And just by doing that, just by sitting in quietness and just trying to just sit in stillness and just be with yourself, you literally begin to tap into that universal knowledge of yourself.
Okay, so when you say original code, is that how we were born?
Yes, that's how we're born. What we say in ancient Hebrew is machshava bitullah telarah rashna nifne ze'aimet, which is the original thought before the most virgin thought and the purest thought of your creation as light. So when I go into that space, and if you ever work with me, you'll hear me say that, because that mantra is basically allowing people to go back into their original code. The original code is the purest code. That is your sovereignty. That is where you have the most magical abilities, most godly awarenesses of self and how to be yourself. That's where you are truly, authentically your version. You are the purest of your soul at that moment. And that's what this breath work begins to do. Now we got to realize we're human beings, so we've been here for an eternity.
Right.
The soul has been here for an eternity. So think about how much input it has taken in and how much we're pulling from other people. That's a lot of stuff, especially if we haven't been working on ourselves.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to take some volition, which is willpower and strength and dedication. What do you say about dedication? Dedication means you do it every day.
Right.
And that's when you begin to see the
That's a
difference.
devotion.
Devotion.
So your devotion, that into expressing that, hey, I'm serious about things. I'm going to devote, you know, my time being on this earth to this, you know.
And to answer your question, not to cut you off, you will see results probably within 7 to 8 days, if not sooner. Sometimes 2 or 3 days of just breathing. And if you can just increase your breath, is during the day, consciously breathe deeper breaths, because most of us breathe like panting like a little puppy. And that doesn't regenerate our system. I mean, breath, like you say, you even gave me this information, breath can take care of 50% of the diseases in the body.
Yeah, if you're breathing correctly, you can cure diseases in your body because we lack oxygen in ourselves. So learning how to breathe properly can bring the oxygen back into our body and can cure us from cancer that was getting ready to settle in. But back to you talking about that breath work and that powerful prayer that brings us back to our original state.
Right.
What if we ourselves are, I mean, we're not pure, of course, you know, every day we do something, we think of bad thoughts, we lie,
We're human. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the epitome of sin. And it's not, I'm going to say it like that. As human beings, we're flawed.
Yeah.
And it's because we have flesh and because we're here for experiences. And we got to understand we're here for experiences. And when you come into that authenticity of yourself and you realize you're here for the experience and you start enjoying the experiences, then you will get an experience and move from that experience. You get the learnings from it and you continue to move forward and you begin to now tap into that universal network of how to become your sovereign self.
But what if I'm scared? Like, what if I'm scared of me not knowing what to, because I don't know what to expect from doing that. So even with just breathing, right? So like you're telling me that I can breathe and it's going to turn on something in me, but I don't know what that is.
Right. Well, what it's going to turn on is some this innate in you, but it's going to turn on slow. So you're going to begin to become very aware. It's not like it's just going to all of a sudden turn on this mystical being that you are like, I can fly, and with this I can read minds, I can make things happen instantly. It's like it doesn't happen like that. I'm not going to say it can't, but usually it happens in time when your soul is ready. So when you begin the work, it goes in steps. Now, if you're afraid, then that's when you seek out somebody to help you and to guide you, because somebody can actually show you what you're doing and help to explain what's happening. People talk to me about plant medicine all the time, and I do facilitate a lot of different medicines. And the biggest thing about that is integration, and integration comes with everything. So even doing the breath work, as you begin to change, as you begin to sit quietly and unpack things within your consciousness, emotions come up. There's certain Reiki symbols I can actually use and draw that will unlock your past and unlock the trauma that was in you. Now, what happens when that trauma begins to unlock and unpack? It might take 2 or 3 days for you to really realize what just happened and what did I just go through. And that is the integration period. That's when you sit quietly with yourself and you don't allow these extra distractions to come in and confuse what you actually saw. So this is where you need to sit with somebody. You don't have to sit with somebody for days, but you need to sit with somebody and allow them to help you to integrate. I usually do integration calls with people for about an hour to help them to understand the process of what they're going through. And that might take 4 or 5 times. It just depends on how much you're unpacking. But integration is key.
Okay. So, breathing, we touched on breath work, and we touched on having a support system. So when you
Definitely.
are ready to tap into embarking on your spiritual journey, you want to be able to have someone to help you and integrate after you started. Like, so like having a plan, right?
Right. You gotta have a plan, definitely.
And some kind of devotion.
Right.
So we're seeing that that's important. So getting up, doing something,
Right.
same thing every day, just
Right.
sticking to it.
Exactly. You have to create a habit. And once you create that habit, it begins to feel good for you. It's different. It's kind of like working out. You know, I was in the fitness field for 25 plus years, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but but I was in the fitness field for 25 plus years, and what happens is you teach people a habitual program or routine, and if they can get into that habit, they begin to see changes. And like you said, what if I'm scared? It's just like fitness. You start doing something once, twice, and you continue doing it. You don't really see the results, but things are changing on the inside. And then all of a sudden you start to recognize, oh, my clothes are fitting a little different. Or first you start recognizing, I got some energy. I'm excited. I'm happy. You know, I have more vibrance for the day. That's what begins to happen first. And then you begin to look at things differently. You begin to open your perception to a new thought of a new way of thinking. And then you begin to grow further into that, just like fitness. And then you all of a sudden start seeing the change in your body, and it's like, oh, we are good. Then you start feeling good. And when you start feeling good from all the different things that you're doing, you want to continue to do them. Now you have created a habit. And now you're actually going to be on your path and moving forward because you're doing something you enjoy doing. If something is difficult, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
You know, for something, the devotion is not always going to be there. But like you said, it's this growth in this spirituality is no different, or it's no different from fitness. It's no different from getting results physically with your body. There's no difference in the way you get the results spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically within your body through this system. And this system is something simple. It's something where you mindfulness, meditation, movement. Now, I use frequencies, and frequencies help. It's kind of a cheat code because when you have the frequencies, you understand how to use the frequencies. You can actually put those behind meditation. So just have someone listen to them, and it begins to unlock and unpack those traumas, those toxins that are in your body. So yeah, just understanding the breath, the meditation, the movement is in meditation, and the awareness. Those are the keys.
Well, I have really enjoyed this conversation and I look forward to doing this again with you. I want everyone to tune in for another episode. You can find Shaman Ra. His Instagram is Oracle's Touch.
Oracle's Touch. Yeah.
And so that's just two words, one in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Oracle's Touch. Yeah.
And you're on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Everything is Instagram.
Okay.
Everything is Oracle's Touch.
Okay. Everything is Oracle's Touch. And your website?
It's www.oraclestouch, ORACLESTOUCH.
And so, like he was saying, if you're interested in embarking on your spiritual journey, if you just need some assistance as to you started somewhere, now you're kind of like stuck and you need a little direction, you can book a
discovery call.
And discovery call is a free call.
It's a free call. It's a free call. 15-minute call, and I literally just talk to you about what's going on with you, and then I can tell you how I can help you, and I can put you in the direction to get you moving.
That's sweet. And you guys can find me Stretch with Angel on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and I just have a new account on Fanbase where you can subscribe for $3.99, and we can get into some Egyptian yoga. Let's move this body around.
Exactly.
Let's tap into our highest version of ourselves. So I look forward to another episode with you guys. So take care.
Take care. See ya. But I do want to point out this. See that pink wall? Pink is a color of self-love. So it's a beautiful thing.
Y'all hear that? Show yourself
So,
some love.
exactly. Peace and blessings. Thank you for joining.